I'm Laura Schweitzer.
And I'm Stephanie Langston. And today we are honoring News 2 meteorologist Davis Nolan. Davis, of course, has been a staple at the station for 44 years, serving Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky.
Yes, we've been so lucky. And August 22nd, he will be retiring. Congratulations,
well, thank
my friend.
Seeing those pictures, that's like 60 pounds lighter and no gray hair.
There you go. Look at how great you look. You still look great. We loved, honestly, going through all of these photos because this is such a huge milestone for you, and it's not an easy decision. What led you to make the call?
Well, it was more or less a combination of things, but family things, first of all. You know, my wife's Japanese, and we've got relatives in Japan that we need to take care of over there. And I'm always I go over there all the time, but then I'm always having to rush back to be back at work, you know. So I can take my time now, you know, and that's my wife there, Amy, and also my daughter, Amanda, that you're looking at. And also my older brother in Pensacola. He could use some help too. So I was looking at family needed help, and then I realized, you know what, I'm 71 years old. I just wake up when I'm 77 and go, oh, where am I? You know, so I figured this is time.
Good for you. We love your family and the stories that you bring back with you from Japan. You've been here for 44 years as our main weatherman, of course. Many may not know that you're not only a rock star weatherman, but also on stage. Tell us what led you to meteorology.
Well, you know, meteorology is something I was always interested in. It was either music or meteorology, and God let me do one of them for a living and have fun doing the other one. But when I was younger, being out fishing as well as sailing. Sailing was a big thing in my family. We were out in sailboats all the time. And the local meteorologist in New Orleans, where I grew up, Nash Roberts, who's passed away now, but he would really teach meteorology on the air. He would explain the cold fronts and show how the winds were going to shift from the south to the north, and we'd be out racing sailboats and we'd watch this happen, you know. So I got a fascination with that, and of course I love playing music. The Beatles got me, you know, when I was younger, and but that's really what got me going in meteorology.
So cool. And you have been here for Nashville's huge moments that really make up our weather story. Any big moments that really stick out on your timeline?
Well, all of them, unfortunately, are severe weather storms, you know, situations that were not good. But, you know, one of the biggest things was the 1998 tornado, which Stephanie remembers well. And that was when we first got this storm tracking computers, you know, the original storm tracker that we had, where you went down and saw city streets and we'd label the streets and we'd give times of arrivals in towns. And that was brand new. You know, everybody's used to that. The whole new generation's grown up seeing that. But it was all brand new. And Lisa Patton and I were doing that. And Lisa did an incredible job with that and got the ball rolling with that, which luckily Danielle came in and kept the ball rolling for us, you know. So the 1998 tornado, we had that equipment. It was brand new, and we really hit quite a home run. I should say Lisa hit quite a home run with that. And then we just continued that with more storm events after storm events. Of course, the 2010 flood came along, and that affected more people. There we are. That was day one, I call it, when it was just creek flooding. And Lisa, myself, and Jeff Ray were on the air watching that happen. That's the Lighthouse Christian School going down I-24 at Bell Road. And of course, she had another day of that, of creek flooding, and then finally the third day was when there was the Cumberland River flooding. Of course, we watched the Lighthouse Christian School disintegrate before our very eyes, and we got to sort of narrate that on TV. But that was a big one. And of course, just more recent times, the 2020 tornado that we had, you know, Danielle did an incredible job with that. That's a huge landmark. And going back to the Macon County tornado, and the Gallatin tornado, which we had, those two stick out in my mind. The Macon County tornado, unfortunately, killed more people than anything I've seen since I've been here.
Wow, we know you have saved a lot of lives, so thank you for the work that you've done over the years. Watching those images, this gives me chills because I remember watching that unfold live. I know a lot has changed over the 44 years that you have been here. You've done a little bit of it all, too. I know we used to do weekend mornings together.
Yes, we
Talk
did.
about your schedule and even being a VJ.
Oh, a VJ? Well, that ended up being a good experience because later on in my career, I started doing more stories, and having that experience helped me out. But yeah, there was one point in, you know, where I was relegated to being just a video journalist and not even being a meteorologist at the station. That was a dark time for me in a way, but it taught me a lot, and I did pretty good at it, and you know, I did pretty well at it. And then later on, when Elbert, our current news director, came along, he asked me, you know, what else do you do besides weather? And I said, well, you know, we got rid of the Nashville Weather Channel, and I wouldn't mind reporting as long as I'm not doing murders and, you know, death and politics and all that stuff that all the reporters have to do. And he said, no, we wouldn't make you do that. So you know, he's come up with all these great ideas, even fishing funtacular, fall funtacular, and all these things for me to do. And I've had a blast doing it. And then going back to the VJ thing, you know, that was good training for the future, to learn how to do what you guys have done for a living, you know, before.
You handled it well.
Yes, and we're gonna get to this in our next segment with you, but you always knew how to make other people feel special. When I first got here, hey, how are you? What's your name? Welcome to Nashville. And I just thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
It's been such an honor.
I didn't realize.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Our time with Davis, like I said, isn't over. He has been forecasting the weather for over 44 years, and he's had a ton of fun too.